Hello, everybody. Today is our second week talking about opening leads on defense. Last week we talked about opening leads versus no trump, and today it's going to be opening leads versus a suit. Very similar, but a couple of key differences. Let me share my screen. All righty. So if you're on lead with this hand versus a suit contract, what are you going to do? Against no trump, you would lead the five of diamonds, but against a suit contract, we'd lead the jack of hearts. Why? Versus a suit contract, it's very risky to lead a suit in which you have an unsupported ace. That means an ace without the king. So suppose this was a no trump contract and declarer had the king and another diamond, but they had a ton of tricks they could take. If you lead a diamond and they win their king, later you or partner might get in and you can run all your diamond tricks and set the contract. Problem is, against a suit contract, if they have the king doubleton of diamonds, they could never win the king on their own unless you start the diamond suit. If you lead the diamond, it comes around to their king. They get to play fourth and take the trick. But if you wait, eventually a lead will come through them. Why is that such an important difference? And the answer is against a no trump contract on defense, if you can establish a long suit, you can take all those tricks. But against a suit contract, you can't because declarer is going to ruff. So that's really the whole presentation today, or 90% of it in a nutshell. The biggest difference between leading versus no trump and leading a suit is that if you have a suit with an ace but no king, you don't want to lead it against a suit contract. Where are we? Partway through defense, and after week 24, we come around to it again because repetition is how we learn. As we spoke last week, guidelines exist for opening lead, but there are no guarantees. Sometimes it's clear what to do, often it's not. World-class expert opening leads give away a trick about 20% of the time. That means they let declarer win a trick that she couldn't win on her own. Opening lead, all we have are guidelines, no guarantees. And on some hands, your coaches would look at their hand and choose to make different leads. What we'll do today is talk about guidelines for how to lead against a suit contract. We'll reinforce why we want to follow those guidelines, and we'll contrast it to leading versus a no trump contract. Card play is really amazing. It's super fun and super important. The more you play, the more you'll enjoy it and appreciate it. Let's review last week, opening leads versus a no trump contract. What do we want to do? Step one, we pick the suit. If partner has bid, we love leading partner suit. A, keeps partner happy. B, partner probably has a decent suit, and that sounds like a good suit to attack against their no trump contract. Remember, we want to try to develop our own tricks before declarer can develop her tricks. If partner didn't bid, then you'll lead your suit. If you're leading partner suit, what card do you pick? I hate memorization, but there's not that much here. If you have a doubleton, lead the top card. If you have touching honors, lead the top one. This is very rare because if partner bid the suit, she's probably got some good stuff in it. If you've also got good stuff in it, it's maybe unlikely that the opponents end up in a no trump contract. If you have some other holding, just lead your lowest card. If you're leading your suit against a no trump contract, usually you lead the fourth highest. There's some rare but wonderful situations where you'll do something different. If you have a three-card sequence, king, queen, jack, ace, king, queen, jack, 10, 9, and so on, you love leading that suit. But it's very rare. The reason is that declarer is not likely to have bid no trump if you've got all the good stuff in a suit. A couple of things we'll review again later. Rare. Sometimes you have what looks like a three-card sequence, but it's not quite. It's a queen, jack, space, 9. Just pretend it's a three-card sequence. And sometimes you'll have an interior sequence, say ace, jack, 10, and a couple little ones. Then you lead the top of the interior sequence. Again, these situations are rare because you usually don't have holdings this good when the opponents are bidding no trump. Super important to have these agreements, stick to these agreements, because A, they generally work pretty well, and B, they give partner information. Defense is the hardest thing in bridge. It's really important that partner be able to count on you for following your agreements because it'll help partner know how to play this suit against declarer. Attractive leads versus a suit contract. This is a big difference from no trump. We love leading a singleton. We're hoping partner can win the ace and give us a ruff. Or maybe they can't win the ace, but they have the ace of trump. They win the first round of trump and they give us a ruff. Other than that, it's like no trump. We lead partner suit if partner bid, or we lead our own suit. The guidelines for these are almost identical to no trump. Partner suit, top card from a doubleton, top of touching honors, otherwise lowest card. Your suit, top of a two-card sequence. Against no trump, you need a three-card sequence. We'll look at some examples later of why this is an important difference. But against no trump, to attack a suit by leading the top of a sequence, the opponents probably have some good stuff in that suit. And you don't want to just throw one of your honor cards out there for them to kill. Against a suit contract, if you have king, queen, and a couple little in a suit, it may be really important to lead the king, knock out the ace, and set up your queen. And just like no trump, again, if you're leading your suit and you don't have an honor sequence, just lead fourth highest. The biggest difference, which I mentioned before, is don't lead a suit against a suit contract in which you have an unsupported ace. What that means is an ace without the king. This is really hard for newer players to accept. They worry that their ace is going to go away. They'll never win it. Your ace very rarely goes away. And what you want to do is hope that you can capture declarer's king or queen with it later. And thereby avoid giving declarer a trick that they couldn't win on their own. It's okay to lead a suit where you have the ace without the king versus no trump because the dynamic is completely different. You're hoping to set up length tricks for later, and if you give away a trick early, it's probably a good gamble. It's probably worth it. Against a suit contract, you're not going to be able to take length tricks because the declarer will ruff them. So giving away a trick early is generally not a good gamble. Let's look at a couple examples against a suit. Hand A, opponent's contract is four spades. Look at your heart suit. Look at your ace, king of hearts. Leading the ace of hearts is wonderful. You get to take the first trick. You get to take a look at dummy. We'll talk next week about partner may give you some information about whether it's a good idea to continue the heart suit. You have the supporting king, so you're probably not helping declarer. You're probably not setting up a trick for declarer. We'll look at examples about why that happens if you lead an unsupported ace. And maybe seeing the dummy will help you know what to do next. And as I mentioned, maybe partner will give you a signal on trick one that'll help you know what to do next. Let's change your hand just a little bit, turn the king of hearts into the queen of hearts. Do not lead a heart. It's much too risky. Really hard for newer players to accept. If partner has the king of hearts, of course, it would be a great lead, but more likely declarer has it. So let's imagine that declarer has the king and a couple of little hearts. If you lead your fourth best heart, it's going to come around and declarer is going to win her king. If you wait patiently and lead some other suit, later declarer is going to have to start the heart suit, or partner is going to lead a heart, and the heart will come through the king. And if she plays small, you win your queen. And if she plays the king, you capture your ace, which sets up your queen. So it's all about positional value. If you lead a heart, declarer will win the king, which she can never do on her own. Aces are for taking kings with. We like to capture declarer's king with our ace. If we play the ace at the start, declarer's not going to throw away the king. So let's look at some examples. If you're leading your suit, you lead top of a sequence against a suit contract, or fourth from your longest and strongest. Let's imagine that the opponent's contract is three spades and you have this hand. Well, that's a beautiful heart sequence. Let's lead the king of hearts. If declarer has the ace, you're going to knock out the ace and maybe set up a couple of heart tricks. With this hand, situation's quite different. I'd probably lead the queen of diamonds. I have a two-card sequence. Against no trump, I'd lead a little diamond. the fourth best diamond, but against a suit contract, I'll lead the queen of diamonds. If I catch partner with the king or with the 10, I'm absolutely thrilled. We will have set up some tricks and not given anything away. Change the hand a little more. In this case, no terribly attractive lead. I'm going to lead fourth best in my diamond suit. Change the hand a little more. Now we have the ace, king of diamonds, and again, we're leading against a spade contract. I'm going to lead the ace of diamonds. I love that lead. Partner's going to tell me whether or not she thinks I should continue the suit. We'll talk about that next week. I get a look at dummy. Maybe I can take the first two tricks, figure out what to do next. Here's another hand. Let me just change the diamond suit to be weaker. I don't have the king of diamonds. I'm going to lead either the three of hearts or the two of clubs. Actually, I might lead the two of spades. Often when you have scattered holdings like this in honor cards, leading a trump is not a bad idea. It doesn't give away a trick. But the important message here is do not lead the ace of diamonds. It's a suit with an unsupported ace. You do not want to lead the ace of diamonds. Maybe declare has the king, and you could later capture the king with your ace. Against no trump, situation's completely different. You would lead the six of diamonds. And the reason is you're willing to maybe give up a trick to declarer's king if it allows you to take diamond tricks later. Against a suit contract, you can't take diamond tricks later because declarer's in control with the trump suit. Okay, declarer's contract is three spades. My longest and strongest is spades. Whoops, I'm not leading a spade. That's going to help declarer. Maybe declarer has the ace, queen, 10 of spades, and if I just wait patiently, I can win both my king and jack. A spade lead is going to help declarer. So I look at the heart suit, jack, 10 of hearts. It's an honor sequence. I'll lead the jack of hearts. And finally, this hand against three spades. Beautiful heart sequence, very nice attacking lead, but I'm going to lead the two of clubs. Maybe partner can win the ace and give me a ruff. Maybe partner doesn't win the first trick, but maybe partner can win the first or second spade trick when declarer calls trump and leads a club for me to ruff. I hope to get a ruff. So let's look at a few example hands. With this one, against four spades, I'm going to lead the king of hearts. Notice this promises the queen. That's our agreement. I'm hoping to set up some heart tricks, and this lead is extremely unlikely to help declarer in any way. So it's attacking and it's safe. Maybe the whole hand looks like this. Let's think about what happens if we lead the king of hearts. Declarer can win the ace, but when declarer starts calling trump, I win the ace, and I can cash my queen jack of hearts. So I set up two heart tricks that way, and we win three tricks, two hearts and the ace of spades. If I don't lead the king of hearts, then what's going to happen? Let me turn on the annotator for a minute. Let me imagine that I led a little club. It's going to come around to declarer. Declarer is going to start on the spade suit. I'll win my ace. And now I think, oh my goodness, I should have started on hearts. Now I'll start on hearts. Declarer wins the ace. Declarer finishes calling trump. And now declarer cashes the queen of clubs. And declarer leads a diamond over to the ace. And now declarer plays the ace, king of clubs and throws away these two losing hearts. So it was really important that I get started early on the heart suit. If I didn't start early on the heart suit, then what's going to happen is we're only going to win one trick. We're only going to win the ace of spades. That's it. Card play is amazing. And again, this is why opening lead is so important. It's also very difficult. Sometimes there's not an obvious lead like this. On this hand, you would make the same lead versus no trump. You'd lead the king of hearts. If you do, you'll set up your heart suit, and when declarer starts on the spade suit, you win the ace and take four heart tricks, and they're down one. But if you lead anything else, declarer still has control of the heart suit, and they're going to be able to set up their spade suit for a whole bunch of tricks. So again, the king of hearts opening lead is critical against both no trump and a suit contract. Another example, opponent contract is four hearts. I'm going to lead the queen of hearts. Look at that beautiful sequence. It promises the jack. That's going to help partner know how to play defense. And maybe it turns out beautifully. We're hoping to set up some heart tricks. And because I have this solid queen jack 10, it's unlikely to help the declarer in any way. Let's imagine dummy has the king, partner has the ace. When you lead the queen of hearts, dummy's king is pickled. If they play the king, partner wins the ace, returns your suit, you take the first three heart tricks. If dummy plays small, partner plays small, you continue the suit. Anyway, no matter what happens, if you lead the queen of hearts, your side will take the first three tricks in hearts. But notice that East is not in a position to attack the heart suit. If East leads a small heart, dummy will win the king. If East bangs down the ace of hearts, I'm talking later in the hand, that'll set up dummy's king. The king of hearts has positional value when East is on lead, but it's vulnerable to attack from West. Notice that also West will probably never be on lead again on this particular hand. She's unlikely to ever get on lead and will never have another chance to attack the heart suit. Card play is tons of fun. Another example, contract is four spades. You have the ace of hearts. This is a lovely little heart suit, but don't lead the ace of hearts. Maybe the suit looks like this. If you lead the ace of hearts, if you lead the ace of hearts, it sets up declarer's king. If you lead any other heart, declarer will win the king. If you are patient and you do not lead a heart, declarer can never win a trick with the king of hearts because eventually the lead will come through her, maybe from dummy, maybe from your partner, and you'll have your jaws over here to capture the king. And again, just revel in the wonder of card play. Opening lead versus suit contract. To recap, we love to lead a singleton. Otherwise, we lead partner suit if partner bid, or we lead our own suit. And in many of the guidelines are the same as no trump. Again, I hate memorization, but I think this is manageable. In partner suit, top of a doubleton, top of touching honors, or else your lowest card. If you're leading your suit, if you have top of touching honors, lead the top of your, if you have touching honors, lead the top. The only difference here versus no trump is that against no trump, you want to have a three card sequence. So against no trump, you wouldn't lead the king or the ace or the jack. Well, actually on the bottom one, you would lead the jack. But on the first two, you lead the four of that suit or the three of the next suit. You lead fourth best versus no trump. If you don't have touching honors, just lead fourth best, fourth highest, like against no trump. These agreements are super important. They tend to work well. They give partner information. Partner needs to be able to rely on you because defense is so hard. It's really helpful for partner to understand what you might be showing with your opening lead. Oh, side comment. Sometimes partner has bid, but you have a singleton and another suit. What do? I don't know. Probably lead the singleton. Partner suit, maybe you can get some tricks there later. If you lead the singleton, maybe you can set up a ruff that you wouldn't get otherwise. What's different when you're leading against no trump or a suit contract? Against no trump, remember, declarer is counting immediate winners and looking for how to set up more. And that's exactly what the defense is doing. You can't really count your immediate winners because you can't see partner's hand, but the idea is you're trying to set up tricks down the line. And it's okay to make kind of a risky opening lead that gives away a trick early if it sets up your suit for later. Because when you get in later and you start running your long suit, declarer can't ruff it. Against a suit contract, totally different. Declarer's in control because of her trump suit. You won't be able to take length tricks later. Declarer is trying to get rid of losers, and you want to win tricks before she can do that. You need to attack early. You lead an honor sequence if you have one. Maybe you have king, queen in a suit. Declarer has the ace. You lead the ace. They take the king, but that sets up your queen. Maybe declarer only had two cards in that suit. And it's really important for you to knock out the ace and be able to take that trick. And of course, everybody loves leading a singleton against a suit contract. Against a suit, it's okay if your honor sequence is only 2 cards, but against no trump, it should be 3. And you need to attack early, but you need to attack safely. That's why we don't lead an unsupported ace. Yes, we would win a trick right away, but maybe that ace would be better served by taking away Declarer's king later. So versus a suit contract, don't lead a suit with an unsupported ace. If you have ace and some other cards in a suit without the king, don't lead the ace. Don't lead anything in that suit. Against no trump, it's perfectly fine, because even if you give away a trick early, you may be able to set up your whole suit to take a bunch of tricks later. This hand is a good example illustrating that. Leading against no trump is totally different than leading against a suit. So let's suppose that East is declaring a 3 no trump contract and you're on lead. Your longest and strongest suit is hearts. You will lead the 6 of hearts. What's going to happen? Declarer is going to win that first heart trick, but later, let's look at Declarer's hand. They have 4 diamond tricks and 3 spade tricks is 7. They won 1 heart is 8. They still need another trick, so they start on the club suit. Their plan is to set up the club suit, but look at what happens. Partner wins the ace, and partner still has another heart. Partner leads that heart. Declarer only has 2 of them left, and you have ace king and 2 more. So when partner leads that heart, you can run 4 heart tricks and you can beat the contract. Against a suit contract, it's totally different. Oh, by the way, if you don't start with a small heart, declarer is going to make the contract. Because if you start with the ace, now declarer has a stopper to use down the line. You play the ace king when they give up their club trick, partner doesn't have a heart to lead back to you. Or if you play ace, even if you switch suits, when they knock out partner's ace of clubs and partner leads a heart, declarer still has the queen jack. You can't run your suit because you already spent your ace. So against a no trump contract, super important to lead the 6. Let them take that first trick, and then you take a bunch of tricks later. Against a suit contract, totally different. Suppose it's a diamond contract. What's declarer's plan? Declarer counts 2 losers in hearts and 1 loser in clubs. Her plan is call trump and knock out ace of clubs, take 10 tricks. You lead the ace king of hearts, and look at what happens. Partner has no more hearts. You lead another heart, and partner roughs declarer's queen. And now you've won the ace king of hearts, a ruff, and the ace of clubs. Declarer takes only 9 tricks, not 10 tricks. Next week, we'll look at how partner can help you understand what to do after you lead the ace. But if you don't start with the ace king of hearts, declarer will take 10 tricks. So against no trump, critically important to lead 4th best. Against a suit contract, critically important to lead the top of the sequence. Card play is amazing. Yeah, if you had ace king queen of hearts against no trump, you'd lead the ace, but not with only a 2-card sequence. So let's review the goals of opening lead versus a suit contract. We want to get the defense off to a good start. We want to take tricks right away, like lead the ace from ace king. We want to set up tricks to take later, lead the king from king queen, or lead a singleton, hoping you can get a ruff. You try not to give away a trick. The 2 big guidelines: don't lead an ace unless it's accompanied by the king. And if you have an ace that's not accompanied by the king, just don't lead that suit at all. So if you have ace and some little ones or ace queen and some little ones, just don't lead that suit against a suit contract. And it's super important, help partner by sticking to your agreements. Don't make random leads. Don't lead 3rd best in your suit. If you have king, queen, jack of a suit, don't lead the queen, lead the king. Stick to your agreements. I'm not going to spend time on this slide. We've talked about this pretty significantly already, and you can pause the video or take a screenshot or whatever. So in the lesson today, We'll, in the coaches' rooms, probably look at best E-bridge a little bit, do some practice on opening leads, and then we'll go and play a few hands where we're on opening lead. I do want to do a few slides that I probably won't get to in the main presentation. So first of all, some guidelines versus no trump are confusing. What does it mean to say versus no trump, lead fourth from your longest and strongest if your longest is not your strongest? I lean toward longest. Suppose the opponent's auction told me nothing. They bid one no trump, three no trump. I'm going to lead a spade here and hope that I catch partner with maybe three spades and we can knock out a couple of spades and then take spade tricks later. So I'd lead the four of spades, and I would hope that my king, queen, jack of diamonds are going to provide entries to my hand. Unless I have a real reason to lead diamonds like partner bid them, I figure declare is going to try and set up some length tricks in diamonds, and I'm going to get to take my diamond tricks regardless. Also, one of the things you'll pick up over time is if the opponents end up in no trump and they didn't bid a major suit along the way, well, we know that they would have looked for a major suit fit if either one was interested. So if there's a major suit that they did not bid, it probably means they don't have it, and it's probably a good thing to lead. I think we talked about that last week. Some other people might lead the king of diamonds. I wouldn't. Either the diamond lead or the spade lead could be better. There are no guarantees, it's just guidelines. Let me review the confusing guidelines against no trump. Fourth best or top of a three-card honor sequence. Occasionally, you'll have something like this, queen, jack, space, 9, specifically two honors and a space and one more card. It's okay to go ahead and lead the top of that broken sequence. Why? Maybe partner has the 10, maybe declarer has the 10 and it's going to be trapped in front of your jack 9. Could it be a disaster? Yes, it could. But generally, it's a good guideline. And occasionally, I have a suit that looks like this, king with a space or two, and then a couple of touching honors. In this case, the generally accepted guideline is lead the top of that so-called interior sequence. These leads are very, very rare. They're wonderful, but they're rare because the opponents rarely end up in a no-trump contract when you have holdings this good in a suit. So focus on fourth from your longest and strongest. Also really important, listen to the bidding. I know we're talking about opening lead versus a suit today, but here's an example where you're on opening lead versus no trump. Suppose you're west and you're on lead versus three no trump. South bid a heart, north bid a spade, south jumped to two no trump, showing a strong hand, 18 or 19 points. We'll talk about that. And north said, well, let's play in no trump. So your opening lead is going to come around to south's hand. Well, usually you would lead your fourth from your longest and strongest, right? You'd lead the seven of spades, or seven of hearts. But South has a strong hand with five hearts. Maybe this is declarer's heart suit. If you play a heart, it's going to come around and she's going to have a really easy decision of what card to play. If you wait patiently, later, declarer may have to start the heart suit, and whatever she does, you're perfectly positioned to play exactly the right card. A heart lead is certain to help declarer. Keep your hearts a secret and let declarer the unhappy surprise. Generally, don't lead a suit that the opponents have bid. What would I do in this case? I might lead a spade. I know that dummy has at least four spades, but I also know that declarer wasn't interested in spades because she jumped to two no trump. So maybe partner's got four or five spades. I don't know. Or maybe I'd lead one of my little cards. This is why opening lead is so hard. There's no attractive opening lead here, but the rules say you have to lead something. And it's often good to lead the unbid suit. Is an important piece of guidance. Again, this is a no trump contract, but let's imagine that the bidding went on the opponent's a heart, two clubs, two diamonds, three no trump. you know a lot about their hand, right? Declarer probably has five hearts and four diamonds. Responder probably has four diamonds. Well, heck, the bidding strongly suggests a spade lead regardless of whatever I have in spades. It seems like partner and I that spades is our best suit. Maybe I've got this, jack and a couple little ones. Partner has five to the king, queen. If I start on this suit, we're going to end up taking spade tricks. Bridge is amazing. Never stop thinking. It's all about kind of thinking. Yeah, there are a lot of guidelines, but once you've incorporated all the guidelines, it's a matter of thinking. Gosh, third best in my little cruddy spade suit. Oh, wait, the bidding gave me a strong clue that that would be a good lead. Summary of opening leads. I'll do these quickly because you can always look at it later. There's no always and no never. We'll talk next week about signaling attitude on partner's opening lead. Very, very important. As opening leader, you pick the suit and then you pick the card. Often the bidding or your card holding will tell you which suit you want to lead, but you pick the suit based on what you know and then the card. Lead partner's suit. If she bid, lead the unbid suit. That was what I just talked about, something that was not bid by the opponents. Lead the top of an honor sequence or top of a broken sequence or top of an interior sequence. A two-card sequence is okay versus a suit contract, but it should be three or more against a no-trump contract. And again, the goals are different if you're leading versus no trump or versus a suit. Versus no trump, you want to set up tricks for later. It's okay to give up a trick early if that helps you later. Versus a suit, you want to take tricks now or set them up soon, but you want to be really careful. Generally, if you don't have an honor sequence, you lead fourth from your longest and strongest. Versus a suit, do not lead a suit in which you hold the ace without the king. If you have a suit like that, don't lead the ace. It'll almost certainly never go away. And don't lead away from the ace. You're likely to give away a trick that you couldn't, that declarer couldn't get on her own. Against no trump, that's fine because you can take length tricks later. Against a suit contract, it's a disaster. Oh, and against a suit, everybody loves leading a singleton, hoping partner plays the ace and gives you a ruff. And that's the end of week 9. Thanks.